Good evening and welcome to Greater Somerville for June 15th, 2015. I'm KyAnn Anderson.
And I think I'm a cold Joe Lynch. June. KyAnn, it's June.
I know.
Let's remember in the old days we used to do the weather report.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
56 degrees.
56 and it's just really cold and yucky.
And rainy.
And we have this grand idea to do a
summertime kickoff show.
And that's why
so hopefully we'll bring some warmth.
Well, that's why you have the sunglasses, because we're being optimistic.
The sunglasses and the flips today.
Yeah, I saw
got
the
flip-flops. Yep. Well, it's going to be a summer show, so, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about in terms of what's coming up this summer in Somerville. So we'll start talking about it, and hopefully things will heat up. But the weather will break. The weather will break. I'm firmly convinced.
Well, not tomorrow, though.
So the optimist has his flip-flops and his sunglasses. I'm ready to go.
You got a tan, though.
I have been enjoying the summer in the garden.
Yeah.
You visited the garden on Henderson Street this weekend. Yeah, it's coming out lovely. I'm very pleased with it this year. So this is the summer of relaxation.
I like that.
Yep. So lots of day trips. You're going to be doing your own little summer routine this year?
My own little summer routine, yeah. I've been out in the garden myself.
Yeah, under the gazebo.
Under the gazebo?
Yeah.
I know. Well, it's my urban oasis, I like to call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you don't really have much space in Somerville, or at least I don't, but I try to, you know, cram in as much as I possibly can in my yard, so I could just kind of sit out there and enjoy the
Well,
flowers.
mine's about the size of the studio, so, you know, I've got tables and chairs and umbrellas.
Yeah, but you've done a lot with it, though. You change it. Every single season I go over, and there's always like a different table.
I like the change up.
Yeah, like it's a different, the feng shui is completely different.
I like the change up, and I like to recycle.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
yeah, I do a lot of recycling.
Do you recycle your wine?
I don't. I recycle the wine bottles.
Oh.
I recycle.
Do you make your own wine?
No.
Oh.
There was a young woman. We're going to be speaking a lot about artists for the
Yes.
summertime stuff that's coming up. There was a young woman that lived next door to me in the South End. She was a glass blower, glass cutter, and she took a lot of my old wine bottles and cut them down into wine cooler glasses.
Oh, those are trendy now. I've been seeing
Yeah,
those all over.
and then she would etch. She was very talented, and she would etch into the side of it different beach motifs or palm
They do that with beer
trees.
bottles.
Yeah,
People that have
I think it's a great way to recycle.
Yeah.
I like
Not
it.
really creative stuff.
I
going on
like it.
there Anyway, so
So hopefully we're gonna talk about some serious stuff.
well, that's serious stuff.
But we're going to talk about a lot of the programs that are coming up for the summer. Yep.
Yeah, and we're going to be off the month of August. I think
We
that's what
are.
said?
We
Yeah.
are. We're going to be off the month of August for live shows, but it is political season.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be hosting a lot of the candidates for elective office.
Not much going on in regards to that, though.
No,
this year. Ward
there's
6.
some declared candidates for alderman at large, and there are declared candidates for alderman in Ward 6 as a result of Rebecca Gewertz stepping down and not going to run again.
10 years.
10 years on the
That's
board.
so impressive.
10 years on the
to her.
board. But Rebecca will be coming on sometime in the fall.
I know. We're gonna.
She'll be saying goodbye. The two outgoing school committee people, Adam Sweeting and Christine Tiberge-Rafal, they will also be coming on as a team, saying their goodbyes to Somerville. Outgoing Superintendent Tony Parentazzi and incoming Superintendent Mary Skipper will be coming on the show, and we'll be taping those. So watch for those in late July, early August, and into September.
Yeah.
But in the interim, we will be having some of the candidates on for the remainder of June and into July.
Yeah.
So watch for those.
And what about our potential? Our special.
We're not going to talk about the special until we get a little closer, because there is
We could have a very, very cool special.
yes.
Maybe not.
Yes. We're going to, let's give the teaser though. We can give the teaser. The teaser is, this is one of the mega events of the post-summer period 2015.
Agreed.
It'll be happening after Labor Day,
Outside.
outside,
Joe and I.
free concert.
Joe's not singing.
How else do I want to say? We have 3 4+ acre parks in the city of Somerville,
And it's going to be in one.
and it's going to be at one of them.
Yeah.
So let's leave it at that
Yeah,
until,
teaser. I'm sure you guys are all sitting at the edge of your chair. But no, it
Yeah.
has the potential to be a very interesting event. And we'll get out of this studio. As much as we love this new studio, we're getting outside, get some fresh air.
We are.
And re-enter the autumn months.
the autumn months.
Yeah.
But speaking of being out of the studio, Scat TV, I want to give a plug for something that Erica Jones and the folks down here at Scat TV are doing. And it is Saturday, June 20th. That's this coming Saturday because we're taping this show. So Saturday, June 20th at 3 p.m. at the Davis Square Theater, Community Vault. It is a screening of local videos from the last few decades from multiple community access
You just
television.
showed that beautiful graphic, I think, Eric.
Very
did that.
nicely done.
Very
Nicely done graphic here. It is, the tickets are $7 in advance, $10 at the door. CommunityVault.tv if you want to see more about Erica's special down
Some
at.
pretty interesting
She has
things.
some really great stuff
From the
they're going to be
70s.
showing. Yeah.
People like 70s, things like that.
Excuse me. The interesting part of this is it's going to show the evolution of community access television,
Yeah.
how far it's come. You know, from the days of the mega cameras and
Yeah.
being only in black and white to
To days where you're controlling it all with a little iPad.
right when you could only watch it on TV. You know,
And we're in HD. The only disadvantage is we're in HD, so you know.
Yeah.
Makeup.
Yeah, I know the makeup, and don't wear light-colored pants because it makes you look like 14 pounds heavier. So, there's another one coming up this Saturday. I want to give a plug to before we get into kind of some of the other stuff. Saturday at Powder House Park, right there at the Rotary at Powder House, is Joe's Jazz Blues Festival.
That's
Every
right.
year. Yep, that's coming up this Saturday. Check the city's website to see the times and the performers that'll be down there. So those are the two major events this weekend.
And there was the parade. Did you go to the parade?
I did. I went to the Memorial Day parade. Unfortunately, I had to kind of truncate my stay there because I had to be in Maine for a couple of other events.
That's okay.
Yeah, so it was lovely. Great parade as always. I saw all of our favorite elected officials, all of our favorite marching bands,
Yeah.
all of the youth organizations. Good job, beautiful day.
4th of July fireworks. Do you know when those are?
4th of July fireworks in the city of Somerville at Trump Field, our neighborhood park, will be held the July 2nd.
Oh, July 2nd.
July 2nd, which is
Okay.
Thursday, and I was just informed this weekend that July 3rd is actually the holiday. So July 2nd at Trump Park, July 3rd, which is the Friday, everybody will be
Yeah.
off. July 4th is the actual holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we get that extra day. No, I only asked because Oreo gets really scared over fireworks, so I usually have him shipped out for that night.
Where do you send them?
He goes to where he goes
Montreal.
To Montreal.
Send him up to
I sent
Montreal.
him to the doggy spa. No, I just.
Well, he
you know what
speaks
it is?
French, doesn't he? Your
The
dog
first day
speaks
that I
French.
got him, I think I came over to your party.
You did.
And I had just gotten this little puppy and what was I thinking? I brought him, oh my gosh, it was such a scene when this fireworks started going off. I thought he'd want to be with me because he was very separation.
I tried to give him a vodka tonic to calm him
Should've had
down,
one,
but
anyway.
yeah, he didn't.
Okay.
So that's coming up real quick. Those are the June events.
Yeah.
So we can hit more
Well,
if you want
I
to go
think it's
into.
just general, I think people like to check out a little bit in the summertime, which I think is great. But obviously, the Union Square Farmers Market is always a really happening place to be on Saturdays. And then now there's an Assembly Row. They're having a market as well on Sundays.
Yep.
So if you don't quite get up early enough to go to the Union Square Farmers Market, you can go to the Assembly Row. Although I can't speak to their vendors, I just love the Union Square one. So that's going on, just kind of an ongoing thing. I know you don't want to talk about this because we discussed this isn't particularly summer-y, but a couple important things going on. Tomorrow is a Green Line extension meeting for Gilman Square and Lowell Street.
Our
That's gonna be
neighborhood,
at the-
yep.
That's going to be at the Armory at, I want to say it's 6:30. But they're going to unveil, I guess, a new design, but more importantly, and this is something they had a separate meeting for regarding the Lowell Street safety, the safety of Lowell Street. Now, take in mind the GLX isn't going to be happening for, a number of years, but because that ramp and the extension of the community path, which was supposed to open June 15th, which is today.
I guess you kind of missed that date again.
So I guess that's going to go on maybe till July 1st. So once that happens, you'll know that that's going to be the termination point of that community
That
path.
stretch.
And
Yeah.
so you're going to have a lot of people coming up there on bicycles, baby strollers, whatever. There's no crosswalk there, and
Right.
that is that bridge. People just fly over that bridge. That's an extreme concern of the neighborhood. We had a meeting at the VNA a while back. There were
Yeah,
a
and
lot of people
I
who
do
were
want to give a lot of kudos to Alderman Mark Needegang,
Absolutely.
who has been relentless in pushing the city specifically for pedestrian and bicycle safety.
I agree.
Right.
He's been doing a
I
great
mean,
job.
you know, I've been hitting on it from a neighborhood standpoint for almost 4 years. And I know on your side of the bridge at the Princeton Alpine intersections, you've been doing the same thing.
Something's going to happen there,
Well,
and they have to.
You know, the city, I hope the city doesn't think we're a bunch of nags. We're not. The key concern is that you're going to have hundreds, possibly thousands of people entering or entering onto Lowell Street, exiting from Lowell Street.
To nowhere.
And there are no pedestrian signs. There is nothing of any significance that warns
Where to go.
motorists.
Yeah, so you end up just having a lot of jaywalkers.
Right.
That's kind of what you do.
Right. So-
But they apparently can't cross on a bridge, which they have the curb cut to
Yep.
Maxwell's Green on a bridge. Somehow that happens. So I just would hope that they would be able to make something happen in the next.
So, you know, kudos to Mark Needegang, but, you know, for those of you who are going to be using the community path, for those of you who live in those neighborhoods, the Princeton, Alpine, Lowell Street, Magoon Square neighborhoods, Vernon Street, call the mayor's office, because quite frankly, I'm getting frustrated that the date keeps getting moved and moved and moved and moved.
I don't understand that. And I think now
So-
it's probably going to be, the Cedar Street has the raised crossing. That's on
Right.
Cedar Street.
Right.
So I feel like that's going to be delayed because of that or something. I don't know.
You know, give the mayor's office a call. He's always saying, if you got a problem, give me a call. So call him.
Okay.
Let's go into some zoning stuff. You're really into
I know,
the
I'm into zoning.
thing.
I know, I am. Well, here's the thing, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out my time watch so we can stay on time here. No, I think the zoning, there's, I want to say on the 24th upcoming meeting for Summer Vision, but like, you know, we want to see movement here in Union Square. That being said, we want to make sure it's the right development. And so, as you know, US2, master developer, hired on to kind of look over and divvy up these 7 parcels. And while they have been engaging the community in a significant way, and I applaud them for that, I think, you know, the development of the D1, D2 parcels, which are straddling the new Green Line station in Union Square.
Right
across
over here.
Right by CrossFit, right across from CrossFit,
Yeah.
that area.
Prospect Street.
Yeah,
Yep.
on Prospect Street. There was the decision to put, the proposal to put a considerable number of units in there that are targeting the millennials. No offense to millennials, but I think that those particular parcels were really, would be wonderful to have commercial or something that would give us a little bit more of a tax base. And so there was a little bit of community pushback. A lot of the officials pushed back as well, and so I think they're revisiting that. But I would just caution people as they go out, putting on their SPF, going to the beach, there are still some very critical issues that need the community attention.
And you're still going to have more meetings this summer.
Yes, correct. So definitely go onto the city's website because they're, you know, they are good about getting the word out, but people just kind of get a little lax in the summertime. And, you know, this is really the time we all need to be focusing on it. And I know there's a little bit of burnout, especially all those people, Brad Ross and George Progas, they're all working so hard and having so many meetings, and I really thank them for that. But just making sure the community comes out and gives it the proper respect.
And I think those
Yes.
folks probably breathed a sigh of relief that the citywide zoning initiative kind of got shot in the legs there. I shouldn't say it that way, but
Shot in the legs. It's-
they were,
look at it a little bit more.
they pushed back to the mayor's office, the Board of Aldermen, and said, we need a little bit more time on this thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about a complete revamping of all of the city's commercial districts, all of the kind of fringe places where the Green Line stops are going. Board of Aldermen pushed back, said, we're not going to look at this thing during budget season.
Yeah.
We're not going to look at it during the summer when everybody's away. Bring it back to us in the fall. We'll take a look at it then.
But one thing I will say, and it is like a 300-plus page document, and it does, like you said, it changes the fabric of how we develop our city, and especially in the intensity of with all the developments that are going on, we want to make sure that's done right. But at the same time, sometimes, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but if we go too long, like into the next year, whatever, like, yes, let's take some more time to look at it, but there's that sweet spot where if we start having analysis paralysis and we start looking at every single thing, I mean, having everybody's input, you know, you have to give, they have community input available online. You can go onto the website and add your 2 cents. You can, if you have the time and don't have a good summer read, you can just go on and read all the zoning for 300 pages.
A summer read? The city of Somerville zoning is KyAnn's recommendation for a summer
I'm kind of a
read.
geek that way, but no, anyway, so you read it, add your comment. It's really wonderful how you can add the comments in any portion of it, but just, you know.
I tend to agree with you that you can get to a point with these things where it's analysis paralysis.
Yes.
But I also think because this is the first time in about 50 years that we are completely revamping this zoning, I would rather the city take its time a little bit more. Somerville's not going anywhere. The sexiness of Somerville is not going anywhere. The developers aren't going to turn away from us and say, let's go to Groton because Somerville's taking too long.
Oh, come on now, that's the hot button. No, I'm kidding.
Groton.
I don't want to offend any Groton people, but no, I agree with you, but at the same, there are certain parts of this zoning code that certain people, regardless of how often they look at it, they will not get because they are not visual. They cannot get it. They are not a professional in that way. And so what I would say is look at the parts that make sense and have the professionals brought in, which they've been doing it, to interpret.
Right.
You know, because like George Barakis can look at something and be like, oh, okay, well, if you build this, and then someone who's not voiced in that, it may take them like twice as long, 3 times as long. That's all I'm saying.
And I do agree with some of the aldermen that I've spoken to about it, is that I think they're going to have to micro down into the neighborhoods when they do these presentations. Some of these presentations are upwards of 50, 60, 80 people that attend those things, and you may have an older person who's not comfortable with speaking in public, but is more comfortable in their own neighborhood. So, for example, something that may be happening up in Teal Square or something in Ball Square. Those people are more comfortable in their own neighborhood.
And I think
so have the aldermen and the city planners go to that small 15, 20 person gathering.
Well, and I think that when people come along and, you know, maybe there's people listening to our show, maybe there's not, but people tend to listen more when it impacts them.
Right.
Right? So you can say, like, for example, at Lowell Street, there's lots of development slated for Lowell Street. I get very anxious about that area, and you know what, I'm going to say that right to George and the gang up there. I really want that designed and developed correctly, and I don't want it to be a piecemeal thing because there's so much land that, you know, you know of, and if it gets developed incorrectly, these first 2 steps are very critical, and so anyway, I believe like, when people know it's in their backyard and it's going to impact them, guaranteed I'm going to be at every single one of those meetings.
So, speaking of backyard.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I don't have a backyard.
I know, but we have the city streets. And the city does a beautiful job of sending out a lot of the arts organizations and performers during the summertime.
Yeah, they had the accordion festival this last
Squeezebox.
Squeezebox Slam.
Squeezebox Slam was this weekend. But you know, there are a lot of folks, there are still a lot of folks in the city who can't get away for the extended, you know, 2, 3, 4 week vacation. And they depend on the festivals and they depend on the things that the city provides. So I do want to give a couple of shouts. Our friends at Somerville Arts Council. Somerville Arts Council. Dancing in the Streets is by the Weber Dance Group. That's coming up on June 27th. Check the city's website for all of these performers. I'll be doing break dancing. We then have our July 4th celebration in our neighborhood on July 2nd. Once again, Magoon Square gets to host it. Visit our local establishments, not only in Magoon Square, but in Ball Square. Ignite is coming up in August. That is the Fire and Ice Festival that they had. It went by another name.
I was gonna say, I don't
It's right
recall
here
that.
in Union Square.
Okay.
It went by another name, and last year they changed the name of it to Ignite.
Wow, they're rebranding. Okay.
Yeah, they're
Who
rebranding.
does that? Somerville Arts
Somerville
Council?
Art. Most of these are Somerville Arts Council things. Not Somerville Arts Council, but we still have the Sunsetters, the Sunsetter performers. They have been booked for June, July, August. Call Jimmy Del Ponte up at City Hall or check the city's website. See if they have any open dates for the Sunsetters to perform on your street.
And one of our favorite events.
I'm getting to it.
Well, let me say
Drum
it,
roll,
'cause let me
drum
say
roll, then you can say it. But,
Heartbeat.
and one more is Summer Streets. The Summer Streets events are
Yes.
still going on.
Yes.
East Broadway will be having theirs. Davis will be having theirs. Multiple events. Check the city's website. Make sure that, every weekend there's something for the kids to do. It's not just about the beach. It's not about the mountains.
And Artbeat, you're going to be in Davis Square. I'm actually going to be away that weekend.
Yep.
So Joe and some unnamed person.
Never know
yet.
who
We don't
Joe
know who
Lynch
it's
is
gonna
going to
be.
come up with as a co-host.
Artbeat in Davis Square.
Artbeat is
July.
going to be fun.
So this is what happens when Joe gets a cell phone.
And
Joe
forgets to
just
shut
got
it
a
off.
cell phone and forgot. Okay, can you
And
quiet that?
forgets to shut it off. Because then he gets, see, people actually do call me.
That's okay.
And sometimes they text me with nasty things saying, don't text me back.
Nasty grams.
Nastygrams. So the Arts Council, their portion is on the city's website. Artbeat is coming up. Scat TV, once again, you and I had a very successful year last year.
Yeah.
We broadcast live from Davis Square outside of Starbucks last year. I don't know where it's going to be this year, but we may be coming up with, no one can replace KyAnn as a co-host, but she's going to be out of town, so I'm going to be doing that. I do want to say one more thing about Scat TV, which
Yes.
is, once again, welcome to Heather Avison. Heather is our new news director for Somerville Neighborhood News. She replaces Jane Regan, who is off doing other exciting
Regan.
adventure things.
Love Jane Regan.
Jane, come back. We miss you
I know.
here at the Five and Dime.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
one other thing, because I don't know how much time we have left, to all of the fathers out there, happy Father's Day this coming Sunday.
Happy Father's Day. It's 22 minutes. We have a few minutes.
We
can
do.
talk more.
Then
Yeah.
we can chat more. Want me to keep going?
What do you have planned for vacation?
This vacation season actually started very early. It started in May with 3-day trips, 2-day trips. We are going up to Damariscotta, up to the Damariscotta Peninsula, a place called Round Pond.
Oh, it sounds
We'll be up
nice.
there in August. I'm not quite sure. I love my family to death, but I don't know if I can take them for 2 weeks. So
That's a long time.
yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. So I may be up there for a little under 8 days, 5 days, 5 to 8 days, somewhere in that
I'm going to
vicinity.
be going to New Hampshire. And then I'm trying to think, I just last minute Lucy decided I want to, I don't know, do something for 4th of July outside. I mean, I like the 4th of July, it's
I have invites to go away that weekend, but as you know, Trump Field Fireworks is Henderson Street.
big day for
Henderson
Jill
Street,
Lynch's party.
Henderson Street blowout on the
It's kind
second.
of a
So
blowout. It's nice.
yeah, and it's tiring. It's tiring. I love doing it because there's so many kids in the neighborhood. And
Yeah.
there's so many people who just, because of the proximity to the park, and we can actually see the fireworks
Oh,
from
it's great
the
view,
front
yeah.
porch and the street. So
So quick question since we've got time. Are they done planting trees?
no.
Because I had requested, my whole street, we all requested, and we're supposed to get a couple more, and I haven't seen any more being planted. And the only reason I'm thinking of this is because I'm thinking about it's getting super, super hot. So when it gets super, super hot like that, those trees that they just planted, I get nervous that they're not going to survive.
Well, you got to water them.
Well, no, I understand that, but I mean, no, because Cambridge has these, they're called tree gators or
Right,
whatever, which are
right.
really wonderful. But anyway, so they're not done planting. I'm going to call
They're
them.
not. I actually saw one of the
You'll see this.
flatbeds going through Teal Square the other day, and they were dropping them off. So I don't know if these are replacement trees for
Okay.
something that's already died.
Okay.
So let me go on. There's a couple of more folks that asked me to do some more stuff. So we have Summer Bliss happening in the city during the month of June. It's from June 1st to June 31st, and it's kicking off the summer season by supporting local Somerville businesses that had a very rough winter.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
if you can shop local, if you can eat local, do it.
And the Somerville Flea too is another, like the little
Yeah.
flea
Oh,
market
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
over there in Davis Square. I mean, that's grand. I mean, I think it's every Sunday or every other Sunday, but the Somerville Flea is a wonderful kind of gathering of, and then you can go around to local stores.
We have the Somerville Historic Bike Ride coming up on Sunday, June 28th. That is, this year's theme is food, flowers, and farming. I actually had a discussion with the executive director of Somerville Historic Commission. They were talking about, all the connections that Somerville had to farming in its early days, and all of the
And when is
food.
that?
That is the 28th, Sunday the 28th.
That's great, I might try that.
And then one more thing, during the month of July, at the Somerville Growing Center, 22 Vinyl Ave, right there between Highland and Summer, between Highland and Summer, along with Scat TV, Somerville Public Library, and the Massachusetts Arts Council, they'll be having Wednesdays free movie night.
Ooh.
Free movie night every
didn't know
Wednesday
about
night.
this.
Yeah, 8:30 is the screening. So July 1st, Little Shop of Horrors. July 8th, Three Stooges, Popeye and Bugs Bunny, good for the kids. July 15th, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Oh.
July 22nd, Return of the Kung Fu Dragon. And then on July 29th, I mean, I don't know who came up, but is my favorite,
Okay.
the Charlie Chaplin shorts. Yeah, I love watching Chaplin, so.
Okay.
Those are my public announcements. Hopefully, if I forgot, people always send in to us, can you give us a little plug? All this summer, we have a plethora of stuff that's happening in the city. Go on to the city's website, go on to Somerville Patch, Somerville News, Somerville Times, Somerville Journal, Somerville Beat.
But also have a vacation, you know? Make sure you go to these events.
Yeah.
To get out of here.
Get away.
Get away so it's nice and quiet for Joe and I, so we can be in our gardens and
But
just
remember,
relax.
KyAnn will be taking attendance at these zoning meetings, so. She's going to know if you go or not.
You know what? For all the hard work that those people have done to make that just like move ahead, it's like, it's just a huge effort, and I'm just trying to keep it alive, you know?
There you go.
I think, yeah. So anyway, I think that's going to probably do it for us.
It's an exciting summer.
It is an exciting summer.
We'll be back.
We
We
will
will
be
be
back.
back together sometime, maybe in July.
We'll see. And then maybe in our special.
All right.
So anyway,
Good to see you.
nice to see you too. Enjoy your
I'll
summer.
see you during the summer. I'll see you July 2nd anyway.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Until next time, everyone, stay safe. and
Stay informed.
Good night, everyone.
Happy.